Hi, and welcome to the legislative update from Child Care Aware for action through May 10th, 2024. We will start with a bit of an overview for you all. These are the 6 bills we have been watching all session that I've been reporting on and where they stand as of Friday. So first, we have 2 bills that have already begun the conference committee process, and those are the Omnibus E12 Education Bill and the Omnibus Jobs Workforce Development Bill. They will be meeting again on Monday, and we will keep you posted on action from those. There are 2 more bills that have passed both the House and Senate floor, but have not yet named their conferees or begun meeting, and that's the Omnibus HHS bill that passed the House floor using the Senate language last week, and also the Omnibus Agriculture bill. And finally, there are 2 bills as of Friday yet to be passed. Both happen to be in the Senate. The Senate is sitting with the Omnibus Children and Families bill and the Omnibus Higher Education bill, both of which have passed the House floor. There is still a little bit of confusion as to whether the Children and Families bill will be heard and conferenced separately, or whether it will be combined with the Health and Human Services bill, since many of the elements are the same, but we should be finding out this week. Here's just again a quick recap then of each of those bills and what they contain as a reminder. So the House Omnibus Children and Families Bill and both the House and Senate HHS bill have several measures having to do with child care that you can see listed here. Talked about these each week, so at this point I won't go back through them all for you, but as they move forward in the conference committee process, we should learn more about what survives those discussions. Also, a reminder that the Office of Inspector General or licensing bill is also included in the HHS bill. And these are just a few examples of what that entails. Have talked about this in the past as well. So once again, if you want to read more about it, you can grab this screenshot or go to our bill tracker. And finally, the Omnibus Health and Human Services bill has these 2 provisions only on the Senate side, and this is where we get into the financial discussions. So Senate File 4170 was rolled in, and that is funding for early childhood mental health consultation and also funding for child care facility revitalization grants. So those are only on the Senate side. So depending on the outcome of negotiations, we will find out whether those make the final cut. We also have the Omnibus E12 Education Bill. This is another a set of bills that have begun the conference committee process. And once again, you can see the elements here, which we've talked about. Anything in these bills that pertains to early education generally includes either Head Start or the voluntary pre-K program policies. In the Senate side only, there is additional language that would expand on-site after school and before school care that's normally starting in kindergarten to pre-K age children, primarily those enrolled already in the school district. One piece that I have added here that was not in our previous updates, there have been efforts to add some language to the Great Start Scholarship Program. This was the program that there had been high hopes to fund more of this year. But absent enough money to do that, this is language that it would at least start to align the policies for the Great Start Scholarship Program with some of the policies that are coming down the pipe from the federal level for child care assistance. And we will have a lot more to say about that after the legislative session. The Omnibus Higher Education Bill, again, waiting on conference committee for this one, but both bills do contain language about expanding funds for Head Start to come onto college campuses. And the Omnibus Jobs Workforce Development Bill. On the House side, we're sitting with funding to the Women Venture Program. On the Senate side, to a contract through deed for child care business management solutions. So basically a shared services vendor. So once the negotiations between the House and Senate end, we will see if either or both of those are in the final bill. And finally, the agriculture bill. It contains language in both bodies modifying the farm to school program to expand or be more definitive about expanding to childcare and naming the childcare settings. A little bit different language and funding, but definitely both bills contain that information. So next steps, pretty much the same as last week. We are waiting on conference committees to either form or finish. Once those committees are done, their reports come back to the House floor and the Senate floor for final votes, kind of an up and down vote. That all has to happen by May 20th, 2024. So really 1 week left of the legislative session, and it will be fast and furious. Bills that are passed up through that last day then are sent to the governor, and the governor has the choice to either sign or veto those bills. And finally, June 30th will be the end of this current fiscal year. So if these bills calling for funding, and many of them call for one-time funding, do prevail, those funds would begin July 1st of 2024 and run through June 30th of 2025. And just a reminder, though, that even if nothing passes in terms of funding, the current fiscal year budget for fiscal year 25 has been set. So the legislature could conceivably adjourn with no new funding bills, and the budget would still be in place through June of 2025. So that is it for this week. Next week, we will be back. We will probably wait a little bit longer into the week to give you the final update so that we can contain information about what the governor has done. And we can also provide more detail underneath what each of the bills contains. I'll be doing a written update also at the end of session. Be watching for that shortly after Memorial Day. And feel free to always come to our website and take a look at our bill tracker and these updates if you want to go back and see some of the history there. So thanks for joining us, and we will see you again soon.